going on.
Thank you so much.
Feel like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ. You up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy, as always, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo, we're going to start with the Dallas Mavericks. You want to talk about things going from bad to worse for this franchise? Boy, I don't know at this point what else could happen. Last night, Mavs playing the Sacramento Kings at home in Dallas, and Kyrie Irving goes down with a torn ACL. Watch this.
I heard AJ call him the best paint scorer in the league.
Got Kyrie down here. It's just unfathomable, all the injuries that these. Oh, he's going to shoot the free throw.
Yeah, and so one of the toughest customers in the business, the captain and the leader of this team right now. God, man.
Mojo, you saw it right there. Kyrie Irving was driving to the basket hard. It was a non-contact injury. He's a tough guy, and very much like Kobe once did. He shot the free throws, and people may have temporarily thought, Mojo, that Kyrie was okay, but he's not okay. And we learned today that he has, in fact, torn his ACL. It's obviously a season-ending injury. It's something that's going to take months and months and months to recover from, and you hope that he's able to get back out there next season and be a star for the Mavs. But, I mean, again, how we opened the show, you want to talk about things going wrong at every conceivable turn, Mojo. It was February 2nd when it was a Saturday night, February 2nd, when seemingly out of nowhere, Luca Doncic is traded in the dead of night to Los Angeles. A mid-20s superstar for Anthony Davis, who is in his 30s. Okay, Anthony Davis, you say, is an all-NBA player. Great. They've got AD now with Kyrie. What happens in the first game that Anthony Davis plays in Dallas? He injures himself. He's out for weeks. Who knows now with the Kyrie injury when Anthony Davis comes back? It seems pointless at this point to rush a return. Then, of course, Mojo, last night, March 3rd, a month and a day after the Luca trade, and their all-NBA point guard, Kyrie Irving, goes down with the devastating non-contact injury. I don't know, Mojo. I don't know what else could go wrong. They were blown out last night by the Kings. The Kings are a good team. The Mavs, obviously, not such a good team right now. You had fans streaming for the exits during this game. I mean, by the hundreds, Mojo. Look at the fans. This is like halfway through the second half. The fans had enough. And you talk about a team that last year played in the NBA Finals, and to think where they are now, it's almost impressive to mess up the squad as bad as they have.
Bad to worse, Babcock. It was already at worst. It's like worse to worsened now. Like, this is rough. Luca, AD, Kyrie, all in the blink of an eye. This is a totally different team now. Absolutely devastating for the Mavericks and their fans, as you could see them just hightailing the hell out of there. You don't want to say this season's done, Babcock. You don't want to write off the rest of the team, but it certainly puts a lot of weight on those guys' shoulders. But at least for them, they have an opportunity to do something great. If the rest of the team can rally and do something special here, that's punching each of their tickets individually. But for Kyrie, brutal. It's hard to call this a non-contact injury for me, Babcock, because if you look at the slow-mo replay, that knee to knee that's coming right here.
Yeah. Oh, there it is, Mojo.
Boom, that sucks. That could have been all that needed to happen for that bad step. And when you see it, oh, it's so nasty. You can actually see his knee bend backwards a little bit on the wide shot.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch,
right there, Mojo.
Man, that is brutal. But I
no stabilization. You can see it, Mojo. It's just there's nothing stabilizing it at that point.
Absolutely horrible, Babcock. And I got to say, we got to give this man his flowers. What a beast, man. What a G. They had to carry him back to the free throw line, took the shot, made it. I mean, that's awesome. That tells you a lot about an athlete. I mean, those free throws didn't necessarily matter, right? It was still
No,
early.
yeah, look, it's the first quarter, Mojo. And I'm sure Kyrie knew something was really wrong inside that knee.
Oh, your knee snaps back like that? Yeah, you know something's off. You know your season is more than likely done. He couldn't walk, had to have some assistance. Speaks volumes about his character. But yeah, this is tough for the Mavericks. I mean, this is, my goodness, a hole that they're going to have to find a way to dig themselves out of with very few tools to do so. At least they still have a winning record. Yeah. Not likely for long, but again, still a lot of season left. I mean, they could still make a move, but it's a long shot.
Well, yeah, crazier things have happened, Mojo. Look, it's a league where you need good players, or you need star players oftentimes to win games, and now they've lost every star that they have. I will say this, and I don't mean to blame the Mavs. It's not Nico Harrison's fault that AD got hurt. It's not his fault that Kyrie got hurt. I think the fans are just so frustrated. And you saw that by them just streaming for the exits. They feel like this team traded their superstar, their beloved superstar, and completely did it behind their backs. And they are so upset about that still, even weeks later. Before we move on, Mojo, obviously, I think, nobody in the league wants to see Kyrie Irving get hurt. You don't want to see you don't want to see anyone get hurt, but especially not the star players. You had a couple of former Kyrie Irving teammates who are now teammates with one another, and LeBron James and Luca Doncic, who actually commented. So LeBron says prayers sent up to Kai with some emojis. And then, of course, you've got Doncic, who we're talking about here in this segment, saying, "You will come back stronger, me, Hermano, my brother." Obviously, Kyrie and Luca have a very close relationship, having played together for years, Mojo. So we wish Kyrie Irving speedy recovery. Hope he comes back. Things are not good right now in Dallas. They have angered the basketball gods, Mojo. Brett Favre is as spoken as they come when it comes to concussions and CTE in the NFL. But would the Hall of Famer donate his brain for research after his death? The exclusive answer is coming your way next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. Mojo, we have learned a whole bunch about head injuries in the NFL over the last decade, as tragically, NFL player after NFL player have passed away. Their brains have been studied, and in many cases, they've been found out to have CTE. Now, we've obviously spent a lot of time talking about Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre and some of the health struggles that he has faced over the last year or so. In fact, Brett Favre, as many of you know, was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, Mojo. As Brett is obviously very much here with us now, and we hope he is for a very, very long time. We were recently having a chat with him, a conversation with Brett, Mojo, and we asked him, said, hey, have you ever considered when the day does finally come that you are no longer here, would you like your brain studied by researchers and by doctors? Here's Brett.
I've thought about it. I think, I hope I live a long life. Don't we all? But this definitely throws a wrench into my future. I think by the time that, my brain is meant to be studied, they will probably have solved a lot of of that puzzle. As I understand it today, there's no way to test a living athlete or just a living person for CTE, so you have to be deceased. But I have no problems with them studying it. It probably wouldn't take long to study it.
It's a hard question, Mojo, and I always think it's very selfless of the players who it doesn't help them right at that point. You simply do that so you can help future athletes, and like Brett says, hopefully they do figure this puzzle out, but it's a heavy topic.
It probably won't take long when they look at that brain, Babcock. He's joking, but sad to say he's absolutely dead serious here. I hate to phrase it that way. And I also hate to say it, he almost doesn't have a choice in the matter. He has to donate his brain. We need that brain very much.
Yeah.
This is a guy that played at the highest level for a very long time, who took a lot of hits, who had a lot of damage inflicted upon him, and is now suffering after his career because of those shots. I mean, CTE is something that has just been a growing trend in sports to study, to monitor, to talk about, to research. And again, it's just really unfortunate that we're not able to learn more until these athletes are deceased. You would also think that a lot more athletes would be willing to donate their brains after they pass, just to help the next generation. Keep in mind that a lot of these athletes have kids that go on and play pro sports and could value or could benefit from this information here. But yeah, there's no doubt that when you take a look at Brett Favre's brain, there's going to be a lot of damage in there. And scientists, I mean, it would go a really long way. But this is a game that was really good to Brett. I mean, of course, outside of the brain hit shots and the CTE, but he made a lot of money playing football, more money than probably he could have made anywhere else. He became a global phenomenon, a big-time celebrity, and the game was really good to him. So doing something back for the game and the next generation is something that I'm very happy that he's willing to entertain here.
Up next, we catch up with UFC star Paddy Pimblett. Paddy the Baddy tells us just how big a fight would be against Conor McGregor. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, we are about a month and a half away from a big-time fight, a fight that a lot of MMA fans are super excited about. Paddy Pimblett, number 12 ranked fighter in the lightweight division, taking on Iron Michael Chandler. Mike Chandler, if you know anything about the way he fights, it's always a great fight. Mike is the number 7th ranked fighter. This is the co-main event on the 314 card, April 12th at the Kaseya Center in Miami, Mojo. Again, not the main event, but a lot of people feel like this is the people's main event because it's going to be a great fight. Now, Mojo, there isn't just this great fight on the table for Paddy. There are some really big, potentially huge fights out there for him, for Paddy the Baddy, after Michael Chandler. Should he be able to beat Mike? Mojo, including Paddy's bitter rival, Ilia Topuria, and the most famous MMA fighter to ever step foot in a cage, Conor McGregor. We recently chatted it up with Paddy. We asked him about both of those guys. Watch this.
Obviously, Conor's the money fight. Ilia's what do we say? I don't know. It's a bitter one. It's a fight that I wanna do. You know, ever since he tried to steal it on me in London, I've always wanted to beat him up, and he's still talking about me in interviews, making lies up. So I'd love to batter that little but it's more about the belt for me, more than anything. I wanted to beat someone in the top 5 after I beat Mike, and then beat whoever the champion is, or is the belt vacant, because you never know when Islam's going to retire either.
Can you imagine, though, if you ever were to get in there with Conor, if maybe the fight somewhere in the UK, it could be the biggest fight in the history of the sport, the two of you guys?
Yeah, Anfield. You'd have to do a stadium for me versus Conor. Have to do Anfield in Liverpool. We'd absolutely fill it out. Be about 70,000 there. Be the best atmosphere that the UFC have ever seen.
You know, Mojo, Ilia Topuria is undefeated. He's also the 145-pound champion. And again, I said he and Paddy hate each other. They got into a fight at a hotel in early 2022. There it is. So there was a lot of bad blood there, and that is a super appealing fight. But I think the Conor fight, Mojo, Conor, again, the biggest star the UFC or MMA has ever seen. And to think of the support that he has in that area, and Paddy, as popular as he is in the UK, I mean, I think, yeah, we're talking stadiums. We're not talking basketball arenas here, Mojo. We're talking like football stadiums.
I think that just goes to show you how much Paddy the Baddy hates Ilia. I mean, let's just review the timeline here. You have a fight coming up with Michael Chandler, 7th ranked in the division, a true badass, regardless of if he's lost his last 4 or 5 in the UFC or not. We're just going to pull that aside for just a second because he's that good. You have that fight coming up, and then you have an opportunity to fight Conor McGregor, which would probably net you more money than you're likely to make in your entire career. They don't make Conor McGregor's too often. Paddy could go on and win the strap and hold it for years, and there probably still won't be another Conor McGregor type fight / paycheck available to him until the day he retires. He's putting all that aside because Ilya is the fight that makes the most sense to him personally as a competitor. I mean, my goodness, I'm almost more sold on that matchup than the Conor matchup, which of course is something that everybody wants to see. I mean, tremendous respect between those two. A fight that Paddy wants. We would love to see it. Paddy undefeated since coming to the UFC. I mean, he's on a hell of a run. But yeah, I can't believe I'm saying that. I want to see the Ilya fight even more. And I barely even mentioned Chandler this entire time.
Did Travis Scott actually badly hurt Cody Rhodes during the John Cena heel turn at WWE's Elimination Chamber in Toronto over the weekend? We'll let you decide next.
There is your main event for WrestleMania. John Cena.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. Mojo, it's still the thing that everyone is talking about in the pro wrestling world. John Cena turning heel, shocking everybody. Poor Cody Rhodes getting the hell beat out of him, Mojo, in the Elimination Chamber match at Toronto. This was crazy. Now, Mojo, this moment has been immortalized forever in the form of a trading card. So Mojo, Topps has released, look at this. This is the heel turn John Cena card with a John Cena autograph on there, Mojo. This is the moment. I mean, look, as John has the watch in his hand, he's about to hit Cody Rhodes. So now they have released this card. So there is somebody out there, a very, very lucky fan, who will get that card, Mojo, at some time this week. And who knows what that thing could be worth. That might not even be the coolest new card, though, that Topps is releasing. Because look at this, Mojo. They've released this triple signature card. It features John Cena right there in the middle with the belt. You got The Rock to the left, also signed the card. And over there on the right, hip-hop superstar Travis Scott, who, of course, was a part of this whole heel turn, Mojo. 3 guys have signed the cards. That, too, is going to be worth a ton of money. Super desirable card, Mojo. And a pretty cool thing for Topps to do.
Babcock, wrestling collecting items is just massive business. I mean, these wrestlers do autograph signings multiple times a week, and the lines go out the door and around the block, literally. No exaggerations. Now you're talking about an autograph for one of those 3 men, let alone all 3 of them after a moment like that. That is going to be insane money. I mean, John Cena, the ultimate good guy. I mean, ever since he became the dude, no one thought he was going to go back and turn heel. Not in his final year in the company after setting the record for most Make-A-Wish campaigns ever. But here we are, Babcock, still, for whatever reason, Travis Scott was involved in this major moment in wrestling history. And yeah, that card, all 3 of these juggernauts, I don't even have to say a single thing about The Rock because The Rock is The Rock. That's a big time opportunity for whoever pulls this thing. I think they're going to be able to retire afterwards.
Yeah, I think so too, Mojo. That is very cool. Real quick, Travis Scott, speaking of, now he obviously was a part of everything that happened inside the ring. There's a report, Mojo, that, and obviously it was an accident, but that Travis Scott, as he's hitting Cody, who is on the ground, that he inadvertently popped Cody's eardrum. And obviously it's a really serious injury, Mojo. Right there, it would have happened. It's hard to tell. I don't know, Mojo. You obviously, you've taken these, you've given these. What do you make of this, Mojo? And do you think there's any credence to this story and Travis actually hurting Cody?
Man, I think it's very, very possible. You can see when he slaps him. I mean, that was a legitimate, genuine reaction. Popping an eardrum sounds completely crazy, but I hate to say it happens all the time in pro wrestling, and that's why we got to be careful when we're doing those open hand slaps. I mean, you ask just about any wrestler on the planet, and they'll tell you they would 1,000% prefer to be punched in the face than slapped in the face. It's a one-way ticket to getting a concussion, to popping an eardrum. Stephanie McMahon has popped Big Show's eardrum in the past. I mean, these things happen, so I wouldn't be surprised one bit if that was the case. Would be really unfortunate for Cody Rhodes. I mean, he's carrying the flag for the entire company. It's WrestleMania season. He has potentially the biggest match of his career coming up in just a couple short months. Doing all of these things with a popped eardrum, that's going to be incredibly painful for him. I guess we're going to have to stay tuned and find out if it's actually popped. But either way, I can tell you that slap absolutely sucked.
Yeah, there you go. Everyone out there who says wrestling's fake and blah, blah, blah. Look at injuries like that. All right, Mojo, we are out of time. We got a big show planned tomorrow. No pun intended, big show. We got a big show planned tomorrow, Mojo. It's going to be great.
Huh? What? Huh?
I slapped Mojo before.
Will be the best show since today.
I'm a lawyer.